Chapter 6 Metaphysics Necrosis.
マユリマユリ
No matter how many times I call her name, Mayuri doesn't answer. Mayuri is standing in front of her grave, staring at the sky, or gazing at the sky. The grave belongs to her grandmother, who died when Mayuri was 11 years old. Her parents were always busy with work, so her grandmother was her only companion. I was close to Mayuri's family, so her death was sad for me too. At the wake, I expected Mayuri to break down and cry. She didn't. Instead, she spent the whole time gazing vacantly at her grandmother's memorial portrait. 6 months went by. I had advanced to middle school, so Mayuri and I no longer commuted together. But whenever I passed the cemetery on the way home, Mayuri would always be standing there. Every day, rain or shine, she would stand for hours before the grave, staring wordlessly at the sky as if she could see her grandmother in heaven. In her hands, an old pocket watch. The watch had belonged to her grandmother. Mayuri always held it when visiting the grave.
マユリ
No matter how many times I called her name, Mayuri did not answer. Back then, Mayuri wouldn't talk to anyone. Not to me, not even to her parents. Whenever I saw her standing there staring at the sky, I felt unease grip my heart. Her gaze was so earnest, her intentions so pure, that I feared some power might grant her wish and carry her off to heaven to join her beloved grandmother. And so to ensure that nothing like that happened, I made sure to stop by the cemetery every day. I would stand next to the sky gazing at Mayuri and call her name.
マユリ
But no matter how many times I called her, Mayuri wouldn't reply. The only sound in the lonely cemetery was the echo of my voice calling her name. It was raining that day too. Mayuri had a light blue umbrella. In contrast to the umbrella's color, the sky was glazed gray, covered in clouds. After a while, the rain stopped. Rays of light shone through gaps in the clouds, a stunningly beautiful sight. Rembrandt's rays, they're called, or sometimes the angel's ladder. Suddenly, a strong wind swept through the cemetery. It caught Mayuri's umbrella and carried it into the sky. Mayuri seemed to not notice. She kept staring at the sky. And then slowly, so very slowly, she stretched her hand out to the sky. As if to grasp the rays of light. As if her grandmother were reaching down to pull her up. And then she lifted herself on her toes. To me, it looked as if she were floating up towards heaven. Impulsively, I grabbed Mayuri's outstretched hand and pulled her into my embrace. In retrospect, my fears were just a childish fantasy, but at the time, I truly believed that Mayuri might vanish.
どこにも行かせないぞ連れてなんて行かせない
I realized how embarrassing the words coming from my mouth were.
マユリは 俺の人質だ。人体実験の生贄なんだ。
It was the first excuse that came to mind. Before her grandmother died, Mayuri and I were fans of a popular TV series about costumed heroes battling evil. I particularly admired the villain, a mad scientist. I even got pretty good at mimicking his lines. Now I was doing it to hide my embarrassment. I could feel my face growing red, but I kept up the mad scientist act all the same. If nothing else, it was better than admitting my insecurities.
どこにも逃がさないからな。
As I said this, I realized that Mayuri was shaking. She whispered it was the first time in 6 months that I had heard her speak. Her voice was choked with tears. God damn it. She smiled happily. I wonder if she took that as a proposal. I wouldn't be terribly surprised if she did. Tears fell from her eyes. And then Mayuri buried her face in my chest. Nah. Probably not, though. Where am I? Who am I? I can't see. I can barely think. A terrible screech fills my head, like feedback from a giant speaker. It penetrates my brain like 100 sharp needles, stabbing me right behind the eye. Zzz. I thought brains weren't supposed to feel pain. And there's more. I feel a shiver of pleasure beneath the pain, and a terrible itching like my body's on fire. I want to crack open my skull and tear out my brain. I want to scrape out my soft gray matter with my fingers and eat it. Ew, ugh. Ugh. The assault on my brain is driving me crazy. Who am I?
ちょっと岡部、どうしたのよ。
Suddenly, the shattered pieces of the world reform. I slowly come back to my senses. I'm in the lab, standing in front of the phone wave, name subject to change, with my cell phone up to my ear. No, not the phone wave name subject to change. Since headgear is attached to it, it's a time-link machine. It's hard to breathe. Give me oxygen. I hear a low, wheezing groan and realize it's coming from my own throat. I close my mouth and take a deep breath. The insides of my throat feel like they're burning. I resist the urge to cough and continue filling my lungs with air. I notice I'm drenched in sweat. The drops sliding down my forehead are annoying. I tried to wipe them away with the back of my right hand. My hand obeys. Slowly. Something is off. It's like my body and mind aren't totally in sync with each other. Almost as if this isn't really my body. As if my nerves aren't communicating properly with my extremities. I try blinking slowly. This might just be my imagination. Could this be exhaustion? I haven't slept much lately. I try to move my hand again. There is no disconnect this time. This is my body.
岡部、聞いてる？
A familiar voice. I turn around slowly. Creasy was there. She stares at me perplexed.
どうしたのよ？急にすごい声出して。
What is she talking about?
具合悪いの？
I try answering, but my voice doesn't work too well. Even more bewildered, I clear my throat several times.
いや、問題ない。
Come on, bud, remember the future.
そう。だったらさっさと出かける準備しなさいよ。買い出し行くんでしょ？
買い出し？
For what? I search my memories. The moment I do, images appear in my mind like a string of exploding light bulbs.
人間は根源的に時間的存在者である。
もう大丈夫だね。
タイムリープしてもいいの？
I remember now. I used the time loop machine.
未来の記憶を思い出すのよ。
That's right. What am I standing around for?
ここはどこだ？
は？
I grab Krisu's shoulders and pull her close.
今は何時だ？何月何日の何時何分だ？
痛い。落ち着け。
落ち着いていられるか？買い出しって言ったろ。
Which shopping trip is she talking about? Daru was sitting at his computer, staring at us wide-eyed.
ダル、今日は何日だ？今は何時なんだ
？13日の5時ちょっと過ぎだけど。
The 13th, a little past 5.
成功したのか？
Did I manage to time leap in the middle of all that chaos? Did my memories really jump through time? Does that mean I've leaped into my past self? Is there a chance that it was all a dream? Thinking back, forward, it doesn't seem real. Commandos breaking into the lab, like it's something out of a Hollywood movie. The sight of Mayuri broken and bloody is burned into my eyes. I remember the smell of the blood, the sound of the gunshot, the weight of the headgear on my head, the pain of the bullet tearing through my arm, Kurisu screaming, Suzuha fighting to defend us. I remember it all vividly. I touched my arm. No bullet holes. No pain even. Was it all a dream? I don't know. I've never time leaped before. I can only hope that it was a dream. No. Okabe. Okabe, no. Focus. It's not a dream. A future like that is too much to bear. I recall Mayuri's last moments and my eyes fill with tears. I forced the tide of emotion back. I look around the lab. Kurisu and Dara are here. But I can't find Mayuri.
マユリはどこに？
どこってルカシのところに行くってさっき言ってたじゃんか。オカリン聞いてなかったん？
That's right. Mayuri went to beg Lukako to wear her costume. She won't return until it's time for the party. What do I do? What do I believe? Was it a dream? Or was it real? If it was a dream, then I don't have to worry about anything. If it was real, then I need to act. Now. I take a deep breath.
あれは夢だったんだ。
No! Shh. There's no way.
あんなの現実に起きるはずがない。
It was a nightmare brought on by anxiety. That's all. There's no other logical explanation. I desperately persuade myself that it's so. Can I? Oh dear. Little do I know that I will soon regret my foolishness.